rap niggas is flow. Type of niggas run to the low and tell everything that you saw. But not me, I'm the type, tell them give me my time. Cause ratting never crossed my mind. Bitches know me as that fly young nigga. Real nigga first, never get it twisted, I still snatch your purse. Got a gift and a curse, wanna get to the best, gotta get through the worst. Yeah, I was last, now I'm first. If I blast, that'll be your silly ass on the shirt. Yo, body laying in the hearse, and everybody crying cause they hurt. Everybody know me cause I'm real, everybody love me cause I'm cool. I'm about to take these boys back to school. Yeah, fuck bitches, cash rule. That's the first and last rule.
Welcome to Trappin' Ain't Dead, another day, another dollar peep game. It's your boy Munch. I'm here with my co-host, C.R.E.A.T.E. What's good?
Hey, Munch.
How you been?
I've been good. I'm riding high after this NABJ, National Association for Black Journalists Conference. So I'm all pumped and, you know, feel motivated and shit. So I'm good. How are you?
Trap Bay. You know what I'm saying? Trappin' Ain't Dead.
How are you?
You know, my birthday, you got flued out.
Oh, my gosh.
You didn't get the vibe with us, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you know, we was vibing.
Happy belated birthday.
That was the experience. I was riding that high, and, you know, it just kind of, like, shifted my perspective a little bit on things. So, you know, you turn 30, you feel like you're getting old. You have a midlife crisis about, like, 26 and shit. And you like, what the fuck? But,
really?
Yeah. I guess. They say it's a thing that just happens.
You know what? I heard it's called the quarter life crisis.
Yeah,
and you get it at like 25, 26. So
yeah, that's what I meant. Like,
yeah, I relate to that, but I was happy to jump into my 30s.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, me personally, like, it's been good so far. It's been treating me nice. It's, like I said, it's like a refresh mindset. You know what I'm saying? Some of the things I've been working on the last year or so, you know. So, like, yeah, it's just working for me, you know?
That's what's up. I'm excited that you launched our new Trap Bay feature. So
yeah, man.
That's pretty cool. We're going to be featuring some boss bitches.
Yes.
Some entrepreneurs,
yeah.
ladies doing their thing. I love it.
Yeah, man. You know, a lot of people, when you look at it, some people may think, like, you know, the opposite. But the reason I could have did Trap Queen and bit off Fetty Wap, you know, but I wanted to do, like, you know, Trap Bay, you know, and the reason is because trap, you know, usually is synonymous with take risks and prosper. And then Bay, I was just like beauty and excellence, beauty and elegance, brains and excellence, something like along brains and elegance, something along those lines. So like, that's like the inspiration for me is like the like Ebony and Jet magazine, like I said on social media. Back in the day, would do these like Jet Beauties of the Week, but it was so much more to them, like. And for me, like, I think now we're in a time where they don't have to be, like, in these settings where they have to be, like, half-dressed and stuff and whatnot to, like, be attractive and let you know, like, the other side of them. You know what I mean? Back then, it was, like, you know, most beautiful, they got to be a certain skin size, skin tone, certain size. And for me, it's just, like, awarding women just for being dope as fuck. It's a lot of dope-ass women out here, you know what I'm saying? Like, really shaking shit up.
I like that, and I like that it's an acronym for something else, like, because I think people, when they hear trap, even when I tell them the name of the podcast, it's always like, what is this ghetto gangster shit? And I'm just like, nah, it's deeper than that, and don't be prejudiced, keep your mind open, and I stand firm in it, and I believe in it, but I love the fact that Trap Bay means something deeper than what, you know, people see when they look at it.
What I think, like, I got homies, like, you know, one who happened to be here on the show before, and that's PK or Precious, right? So we grew up together, you know what I'm saying? So like she fell on some hard times herself, and at the same time she was able to hustle. She had a kid, like she told on the show. She couldn't really, like, she ain't had no time to be like feeling bad for herself. She had to go and get it. She wasn't gonna chase after dude either. You feel me? So, you know, it's a lot of women, like I think of like Duchess. If you from Miami, if you from SoFlo, you know, Miss Duchess, who always are doing some type of network marketing, entrepreneurship type deals, and in the boutiques that's down here and stuff like that. You feel me? Like it's like we look down, like we try to separate, or I feel like people think it's a separation when you think of like different businesses, like in our culture. And I just wanted to represent our culture, like the businesses in our culture, like the boutiques, like like literally they was doing online sales in Fashion Nova before Fashion Nova, but did we really like respect it? Like think about it. But, like Prima Donna is one of the people I think about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She was selling waist shapers. Everybody was clowning her, but she sold waist shapers online and she also had an online boutique.
And became a millionaire.
Off that shit. Like, you feel me? Before Love and Hip Hop type shit. So that's like the inspiration. Like a lot like coming from Miami. Like people look at the city girls, but I grew up on Trina. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I grew up with a brother. Like, so like watching her and how she carried herself, it never occurred to me that it was really about, you know, her fucking for the check. It was more like, you got to respect me. So you got to come with a certain standard. I'm not finna settle for this. And I got my own bag. So I don't care about what the fuck you going to throw at me. You know what I'm saying?
It was well received. So I'm excited about that and looking forward to posting all those beautiful women across South Florida. But there's a lot going on in the news locally and nationally. So let's jump into some of these hot topics. And just to let our audience know, we have some guests here in the building, and we're going to be asking them to chime in here and there. Emmanuel and Jawan is here. They're going to be talking later with us.
Yo.
But, you know, you guys are definitely welcome. We like for our guests to engage us with our hot topics. So I think something that I think me, you, and Emmanuel posted on Facebook about the Jay-Z and the NFL deal and what we thought about that situation. So for me, I said I gave Jay-Z a side eye because he was just, you know, saying that, you know, in his rap, like, you know, I turned the Super Bowl down and, you know, they got to come to me. And then he's standing with Kaepernick, and he's like, you know, wearing the jersey. And then allegedly he was, you know, trying to convince Travis Scott to not perform. So that's why it got a side eye for me, because it just kind of came out of left field. Like, I thought you were against this. Now you're working with them. And I equate that to kind of how some of the people here locally in Miami, you know, they may be against one thing publicly, and then the next thing you know, they're making a deal. So that's why I was a side eye. But I totally...
I'm going to name names tonight.
Let's do it. But that's why it gave me got a side eye. But I totally understand that Jay-Z is an entrepreneur and an opportunist, and he's going to make money regardless. But to me, it's like when you put the social justice thing in there, that's when it get a little bit tricky for me, because I feel like we shouldn't play with stuff like that. Like, if you want to get your money, but don't try to come in and say, oh, I'm for the betterment of people. Like, when you really know it's about you wanting to make a dollar too. Like, I just feel like that's what made it a little shifty to me. And only because, here's the thing, if he had never even said anything about, you know, Cap and the Super Bowl thing, and just came out and had this deal, I don't think it would have been any backlash, because we'd have been like, oh, Jay-Z's doing what Jay-Z does.
I think it would have been worse.
You think it would have been worse?
I think it would have been worse, because it would have came off as if he was being silent and he was playing both sides, right? So even you gotta understand, Jay-Z's in a position where damned if you do, damned if you don't, right? I look at, being that I play ball, the NFL is a sovereign entity. It's a private business. You can't touch it. The government, none of them can't go to jail behind the NFL. You know, so only thing is to change company policy. Like that's how they govern their organization, right? So they have different policies, and I looked at it down the line like, all right, you're in initially his position, and I'm saying this, we're also watching the video to be fair, right? Because the article came out, and then the video comes out with him and Roger Goodell. So I seen a bit of the clips that was coming out. I didn't really see the full context, but I did see the question when they asked him about the Cap situation. And like, when it comes to, like, I look at it like the position that he had, I think is like a liaison for entertainment and sports, right? And his label, Rock Nation, is gonna, you know what I'm saying, he's gonna be the negotiator between his business, and them are gonna negotiate that. So when it comes in, they're basically outsourcing their diversity program. Just being honest, you know, and being older, I used to get like upset and be like, fuck them, or take this side of. But I'm lately, I just been trying to sit back, and kind of like look at both sides and weigh what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like what we looking at. I think that deal with Jay came out of that deal with Cap. like literally he has been sworn to not say anything. So we don't know what was in that deal. And once everything comes out, and then it comes out maybe 10, 15 years from now, who knows about what happened. But if the shit blows up, then of course they're going to blow the shit up. You get what I'm saying? When I looked at it with with Jay-Z, it's another one way. I think it's another thing about the charities and where the money is going and how they're getting funded, right? Mm-hmm. So that's interesting. That's an interesting position, and I think everybody thinks that him being the sole person, he's one voice that's going to be in there. I think he has some pretty good advisors. If you watch him through history, he's always employed people younger than him that's more talented than him, right? Since he started on Fifth Ave, trading stocks and hiring interns, to start his label. So Jay is one of those people, like, you kind of like, the older you get, the more you kind of respect these moves. And like, I look at certain deals that we deal with down here. Like, you got a lot of these big development deals. Manny know it. And then we talk about this a lot, about having to weigh the options and extract those dollars because they there. Muse was talking about how art is a $1 billion business, and art mostly is used as a catalyst to, with these properties, you know what I'm saying, to beautify these neighborhoods. So, Manny, I want to get your take on the whole Jay-Z situation from that, as well as I know you had some gripe with Sean King.
Yeah, that's how I heard about it, was through Sean King's tweets or and whatnot. And to me, it was like the pot calling the kettle back. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
that's fair.
It's like if I'm a married man and I'm cheating on my wife, and then I get on another dude who's in a relationship with a girl and he cheating on his girl, and I'm looking down on him, I'm talking down on him for it. Like that was kind of like my issue with Sean King's stance on it. And that's how I heard about it. I'm like, well, what's he talking about? What Jay-Z do? He ain't dropped no album or nothing. Like, I don't even know what's going on with Jay. Yeah. And whatnot. And he was calling him an opportunist. And like, my thing is, like, if you look at the history of Jay-Z, like, Jay-Z's one of my favorite rappers. He's like my top 3. Nas, Tupac, and Jay-Z. And like, Jay-Z back in the day, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's always been about monetizing and making things happen. Yeah. That's how he always been. Building. Yeah. Like, Jay-Z sold dope to his own mom. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, he shot his own brother. You look at his albums, like, and like, yeah. You look at his albums, like, what he talk about is always like him monetizing something. Yeah. When the art Basquiat exit through the gift shop era was going on, like the artsy stuff was going on. He had the Magna Carta Holy Grail album. Yeah. That was like a whole Picasso baby out, thing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like when things was going rough, he did a retirement joint. You know what I'm saying? In 2003. When he did the coming out of retirement, like Jordan wearing the 4-5. Yeah, he's strategic what he does. So when I knew it was like, okay, this Black Lives Matter thing is popping, I know when Jay drop another album is going to be on some pro-black stuff. And what do you know? 444 come out, socially conscious Hove. So to me it's like. But
to be fair, he's always been socially conscious.
Yeah, he's always been.
Yes, and if you listen to literally since lyrics since
I'm overcharging niggas for what they did to the Cold Crush. Like, he always been talking about.
He always been talking about it.
I feel like me and him on the same page. Like,
so Juwan, how you feel?
Man, like
I don't remember him in the 90s being.
It was a point early on where I was kind of like, I don't know Jay-Z, but for this situation, now that I'm older. I don't know if it's because I'm older or what, but I'm looking at this like I'm expecting him to be playing chess at this point. So yeah, he did this, and I'm like, okay, we gonna see what he gonna do with it next. So I ain't counting him out yet. But I always got a little eye on Jay-Z because of before. It's just some stuff. I felt like he took too long. Like, there was a point where I was like, Jay-Z, you gotta say something, bro. And it was things just passed, and then finally, like 444 time, maybe even an album before that. No, I would say the first one probably was on Watch Your Throne with Kanye, when I was like, all right, he finally like starting to talk about like black issues. Yeah. And then all before that is just regular, rap to me. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm looking at it. He playing chess now. Let's see what he do with it. We gonna see.
It's a lot of. I wasn't a heavy Jay-Z fan. And when I did actually get into him, I'm not saying I didn't listen to every record, but when I did actually listen to him, I started to hear a lot of like his mentality. You know, yeah, I heard the money, of course. Who's not thinking about that? Like, think of other artists that's around. Like, I think of artists in my city, like Berg, them, like that's what he about. He about money, but I know him personally. I know he's conscious. But on a level of music, has he put out anything conscious? Yeah, in the last, since he started, well, not saying since he started Live House, but since he's been like pushing that the label, he been really infusing it. Like, you know how hard it is to build a team where I'm from, with, you know, tell niggas with nothing that something gonna come. Like, that's a record that he didn't used to say that. He didn't used to be that vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? So I could get that. Mm-hmm. You feel me? And I think artists evolve, and I think it's just about the times. Like, he's in a position of power now where, like you say, you play chess. He can say whatever the fuck you want. Like, he literally told us the deal was gonna happen. In the record, it's not like he didn't tell us. Like, and that's how I kind of look at it. But yeah, of course, and us checking on him, I think, is the accountability. It shouldn't be like a suspicious thing. And I think, you know, I don't see I don't hear no white folks chattering about or what I should call white cheddar. White folks chattering about none of this stuff. They not worried about this. It's like, okay, get them off. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's leverage. Like, they TV ratings drop. And like Jay-Z said in the interview, he was like, all right, I'm not going to discount what Cap did. That's a part of the process that needed to happen. Now, once we kneel, what are we going to do? Mm-hmm. And it's like, you know, I look at Jay as somebody who's always pushed the conversation forward, or always pushed the culture forward. Always. You think about getting cats to dress back up in suits. That was a whole thing. Like, you feel me? Getting out of jerseys, dressing up in suits, taking the we not doing Chris style no more. Then he got Ace of Spades. Like, yeah, it was money plays, but like, think about it. I look at Black House with us. Like, we was front line. You feel me? A lot of times we was front line. But at the same time, look at what we got now. Look at what a lot of other groups don't have. But we was focused on like, yo, we got to build, because we can go fight. But at the end of the day, they got a 20, 30-year process that's going on. You feel me? So that's like my thoughts on it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you say, you play chess, I think is what, to sum it up, like, I guess on it is like you play chess and hold them accountable.
Do you guys think it's also very, I guess, I'm trying to think of the word, like fortunate, or like, I can't think of the word right now, but it's just interesting that the Miami Dolphins owner had this, you know, this stuff with Trump and him supporting it, and then now it's like, oh, but we have Jay-Z on our side, so we're not racist over here. We don't care about what Trump is doing. So it just looks a little bit sketchy, too, on the NFL's part, whether it's on Jay-Z's part or not. But I just thought that was an interesting point, too. Like, after all this news broke, now they're pushing out their shiny black toy to show that they could play well in the sandbox.
So let's put this in, because we talking politics and sports, right? So he got it. Let's be fair. Stephen Ross got an organization, Rise, supposed to talk about racial inequalities in sports and whatnot, right? Hold them accountable to it. It's Miami Dolphins. We need to hold y'all accountable. Y'all in Miami Gardens. You feel me? Y'all in our backyard. Right. So that's one. We gonna hold you accountable. Miami needs to hold him accountable first and foremost, because, you know, it's just being what it is. Y'all don't really support, like, you know. I don't want to go there today on the Dolphins. But either way, to say the least, when you I look at these meetings and these round tables and them going to have these meetings. I'm one of them people on the side of, if I get called in a meeting that I ain't paying for to talk about what I need from somebody and I can be in that same room, I'm going to go do it. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. You know what I'm saying? Like, and at the end of the day, it's like, I know what I came in there for. I know, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we seen the Kanye shit blow up, but we got to give these people, at the end of the day, like, cancel culture doesn't give these people the benefit of the doubt either. And, you know, if we going to meet, I'm going to have my list of demands, because I know politics is money. Demands. So if and people make a big spectacle, it costs this amount of money to sit. Yeah, they putting that table together. It's 10 niggas. Add the money up. That's, you know what I'm saying, 10 niggas at $250,000, you know what I'm saying? That's 2.5. probably billion. You know what I'm saying? With 10 niggas, so you get what I'm saying? So I just look at it's a yin and a yang, and like I say, like now being 30, like it's more like I used to be like, nah, man, that shit's suspect, but now it's like more like, all right, bro, we gotta play chess, because like I look at a lot of deals, I deal with a lot of deals like that's on the table, and like I call my homies, I call like that's in it, you know what I'm saying, still in the trenches. I call like V and them, you know, of course, and then I go call commissioners and Snap and Spaz and say this not right, but I'm also on the end of I'm gonna listen and say what can be done, because I understand it's complexities to this stuff. You feel me? So it's a double-edged sword. You know what I'm saying?
It is, and I mean, I think we all are hoping, because I saw on Twitter somebody compared him to Kanye, and I'm like, nah, I ain't going that far. And I'm not as far as to say I'm canceling. I'm just saying we could be critical and still hope for the best for the situation. And I just hate that sometimes, like even when you see the Steve Harvey situation and Jim Brown, it's like, you know, they're going in there for a certain reason, but then like the white people, the white power structure always likes to put us in a position where it looks crazy, and that's what I don't like. And I feel like Jay-Z kind of got caught up in a situation where he kind of looked crazy, even though the intentions may not even be that. And I hate that that's how it has to be.
But we feed. The thing is, and I'm gonna go back to this. We feed into that. It wasn't when you ask the questions. Where most of this outrage coming from? If you got a white friend, reach out to your white friends. I asked all my white friends.
You know what? I do wish he would have at least brought Kaepernick into the meeting, like as one of like his demands too, like or something.
That's what I'm saying. We don't know, because maybe this is something that Kaepernick said. Yo, remember he went on the world goddamn tour with that $1 million. He gave the organizations with that $1 million. So I need to now, field general, this is what I want for me. I'm a guarantee this is for my salary, but all these policies and procedures I think you need to change. Now I'm going to put my people in these positions. I think it's going to be a rollout. Even like I said about the charities, you know, these organizations, like the football players can't donate to everybody. They are advised to donate to particular organizations that have historically and systematically been proven not to be effective. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, y'all gonna come in with a program and give me a fun day through football, okay? But give it to an organization. Like I would like to see the Super Bowl, out of their programs, start to fund organizations that's locally down here and guests that we've had on the show, like Arvis Lawson with Fanet. You know, I want to see him flourish out of that situation. You know what I mean? And that's the things I see happening out of that is like now more organizations, like we talk about Super Bowl. Super Bowl is coming down here. How many black organizations are benefiting off being at the table? I'm talking about all of South Florida right now. You get what I'm saying? Including us right here at the Black House. So, you know, and there's several princes that we know that's in the neighborhood that's also getting it. You know, Shucking and Jiving that's also getting it. Like it's a whole list of people who are on that list, you know, taking advantage. And imagine if post events like Boycott Miami didn't happen and we didn't make that a threat and make it known like these are the things when you come to Miami, this is what we want, this is what we need, and that's is so I think we have to be like this. We have to stop like tearing each other down about it. We got to start, and I forgot the brother who kind of like pulled me back because I was like saying the same things that Manny was saying about Sean King. About tearing each other down. Like, I respect the brother for having a gift, but I don't respect when people say he an activist. Mm-hmm. Like, yo, he's a writer. He been front line writing. You feel me? Like, that's his role. Like, respect his role. You know what I'm saying? We get this activist word convoluted just because you front line on the issue. Mm-hmm. And even people tell me, I'm like, but bro, I wasn't even down there. I was, you know what I'm saying, on the back street somewhere hollering at somebody. Like, you feel me? Like, so, you know, it's all speculative. You know, doing this work, and I'm happy that people are engaged. You know.
Yeah, it just doesn't have to be so extreme. I think, like I said, it doesn't have to be cancel culture on everything. It could be like, I just don't agree with this, but I can still hope and wish you the best and support you. Like, but I'm gonna, be critical and mindful of it. Speaking of sports, locally, I saw on social media, and I think it was your page that
Walmart.
schools don't benefit from the sales of their, I guess, memorabilia with their logos and stuff if it's sold in Walmart. But the school board struck that deal. So I wonder,
no, they own. All right, it's a complex issue, and one school only seeks to benefit, from my understanding. But there's a coalition, and the reason being is the way it was done. Well, let me just explain the present situation. Walmart is selling a product by one of their vendors, of course, Walmart's vendors, that was approved by the school board to license and license and use to print T-shirts and other merchandise, right? So the issue with it is not that the school is not going back to the schools. I'm well aware that it's going back to the schools. The issue is it an equitable situation for the schools that it comes from? And originally, if I'm not mistaken, that started with the advent of us blowing up in football. Miami Central, Miami C.R.E.A.T.E, Miami Northwestern, Booker T. They were nationally ranked teams. Nike was hitting people up, and they started to do these things in I.C.A.R.E. in the city alumni for responsible education. Is a inner city alumni coalition of CC presidents, like the alumni associations. And they came together to talk about the demand for getting that done. But somehow it got twisted. And now it's been, to be fair and equitable, they're doing it with all the schools, right? So depending on what area you're in, you might get Stranahan. You might get, you know what I'm saying, something in the South Broward. If y'all in Broward, you get South Broward. You get Ely, you get Pompano, you know what I'm saying? So that's just to be on the fair side. But what and I just posted it to say these are the things, like trapping ain't dead. Like these are the things that's happening in your neighborhood. Like, how do you feel about it? It wasn't so much like I had a feeling about it, because what's done is done. It's like it's out of my hand. But when we go back to the table, and renegotiate them contracts, we do need to, start that. If you're gonna do a process through the Office of Economic Opportunity with the school board, where those vendors, because those vendors can be utilized, and it could be more of a supply diversity locally with those people, and get them in a process where you helping them get to being a Walmart vendor, moving up. And I look at the stuff like continue this Jay-Z thing, just how, we can continue to say this is a problem, but how are we going to maneuver through the problem,
So I guess I'm confused then, because I thought that the schools are getting the proceeds from that?
The school, it goes into if I'm not mistaken, it goes back into the general fund. They get like 70% of profits off it. Like they get it. The school board gets it.
The school board gets it, and then what do they do with that money?
That's the issue, is where the money goes for that.
And so nobody knows.
So I haven't really dug deep. I remember it for a while back. DC is one of those guys that worked on it. Hosendorf and some others. NAACP. I think not NAACP, but I know I.C.A.R.E. worked on it, and it's something that it's been talked about for a long time. So I know it in bits and pieces, but I don't know it in full. But that's something to look into. Yeah, most definitely.
That's crazy.
And the other piece is that Northwestern owns their logo. They own the Alumni Association owns the rights to the logo. The school board owns the right to the name. So that particular bull is an actual. You get what I'm saying? So that's another complexity in it. You get what I mean? So it's a lot of complex issues in that.
I wonder. Well, so I wonder why Northwestern did that like that.
I believe it was. Ferg is a guy of mine who actually made this shirt, and he's a visual artist around the city, and he did a lot of he used to draw. Like, I know a lot of the artists who used to draw a lot of their designs by hand. He still draws by hand, so he and then sends it in and gets it digitized or whatever. But he I don't want to say it was him, but I know it was somebody at the school who actually put together that logo.
Is that more lucrative for the school?
Because then now you can own that logo, and now you can now enforce that, hey, we own this logo, you can't sell this, so we can license out the use of the logo. So if you see a lot of Northwestern shirts, they're literally licensed by the Alumni Association. They have to be licensed by the Alumni Association now. So that means that Walmart had to go sit with what's the name. But the thing is, like I said, they don't own the name, so you feel me?
Layered issue.
So it's just something to kind of like put it in perspective and just be like, these are the things when we talk about these issues, like the other side, the B side, is Ingrid would call it, things and what is, because we can, like I said, we can focus on the problem. We can say half full, half empty, but you know what I mean?
That remind me of the NCAA situation too.
Yeah,
these athletes generate millions and millions of dollars and struggling to get meals every day.
Yeah, exactly. And I used to be one of those guys. You didn't get, like when I went to college, you didn't get a full scholarship. They only gave a scholarship when I went to JUCO, for context.
Me too.
So you didn't get a scholarship. You got, because unless you was in state, in my particular situation. So you had to have a job. You know what I'm saying? You had to have work study to come through for you. And you didn't have no meal table, none of that stuff. And you still had to go to practice and try to, make a living. And a lot of people don't understand it. They think, oh, you're on full scholarship. But it's like, all right, they pay for my books and they pay for this. And the training table is 1 meal a day in D1 schools at that time, at a certain time. It depends on what school you go to, but it's not like included. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Nope.
Yeah.
It's we're gonna get some people on the show to talk about that. That's something I want to talk about with. I wish we would have had a chance to talk about with FMU, starting with, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
man.
Yeah.
And congratulations to Coach.
So shout out to Coach Ice, man, long-time legend.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna be a wonderful, wonderful opportunity. Shout out to Zabo, man, creeping in the back.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Few topics.
Yeah.
You want to come get in?
Jay-Z.
Yeah, you gonna come hop on Jay-Z? Hold on, man. Hold on.
I'm a whole fan.
Yeah. Come on.
I'm a whole fan. I just feel like Hov fucked up this time. I feel like he fucked up, bro.
Explain your stance.
All right, so if you're going to do anything with the NFL coming from my culture, Cap got to be next to you. Just from what they did to Cap.
Yeah.
On the other hand, Cap did negotiate the deal none of us know about.
Yeah.
So we don't know the inner workings of that deal. We don't know what's going on, but on the outside looking in,
The optics.
Cap should be next to you. If you signing a deal, all right, the proceeds from this deal, we giving 10, 15% to Cap.
Yeah.
Boom. Then Jay-Z, you go and do your business. I'm fine with that.
But that's the whole thing. Like,
we don't know.
What about, and this is my thing, it's still early, and we don't know what's, it's going to become public information, and you never know. He may be getting a consultant fee.
And I was stressing, don't let the media put them two guys against each other.
And
black people don't be the ones to put them against each other. Because I got all type of shit saying, I was reading today how, what if Jay-Z, like some real sick shit, like, bro, don't equate these two situations.
Yeah.
I saw, if Martin and
Malcolm.
Rosa said, all right, we're going to boycott the buses, right?
Yeah.
And somebody came after them and was like, all right, boycott the buses. Fuck that. What's next? So they saying that's like what Jay-Z do. I'm like, bro, don't equate that.
But to be honest, the first thing I think about is Martin and Malcolm when I see those issues. I look at Martin and Stokely.
Oh, yeah.
That was a real situation where the younger generation was like, nigga, what? Hold on. As much as we and we got a set of code and morals, and Stokely was like, nah, fuck that nonviolent shit. And King was like, more like, look, let's kill them with their own words. I urge everybody to go listen to Martin Luther King when he did the Emancipation Proclamation speech, 100 years. He dissected the fucking Emancipation Proclamation, like word for word, and telling them crackers in the room, like, y'all ain't living by this shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? And
Dr. King was the best at that, indicting the system, using their own words.
Yeah.
But, I don't want to put them two brothers against each other, but accountability is real. Yep. If Hov fucked up, we got to hold him accountable.
Exactly.
Indeed.
And also, on the other hand, Colin Kaepernick, we don't know what this deal was about.
Yeah.
So when I first heard about that deal, I'll never forget, Theo called me. I was in Trinidad. Theo was like, bro, what he did? I was like, what you talking about? I don't have no service, so I chat. I was like, bro, he signed a deal, and we don't know? Like, everybody riding with you. Like, you were supposed to let the people know, like, yo, I signed, I got a check, I'm good. Y'all go back to football. So that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Second, the Flomo situation.
Yeah.
Lil Chris, he was here when you got here?
Yeah.
Lil Chris just transferred to Flomo. Two of his homies just transferred to Flomo. So we always talk about this. What if our kids at home had a chance if they fucked up at a JUCO to come home and go to an HBCU and play ball? So I'm going to get you an interview with Benedict. Benedict is the offensive coordinator.
Yeah, we had. So what's crazy is we had on my birthday, we was at shout out to Jill Tracy. She gave us the opportunity to share her platform at Lorna's. Remember?
Yeah, for Social Sushi.
Social Sushi Miami and at Lorna's. And
Lorna's got sushi.
No, it was just it was the name of the event.
Yeah,
sushi meaning like a mixture of
collard green sushi.
Yeah, like just a mixture of different people, different flavor. And FMU, the dean was there, the athletic director was there, and I think the assistant athletic director was there. So who's really in charge of like recruiting? He was talking about the budget, and I pressed him about that. Like, and he really was talking about giving our kids, Miami, an opportunity. And then, the advances with Betty Wright and how that's transitioning. And like I was finna say, before you came in, Ice, from my experience, has always been a great teacher.
100%.
Teacher. And he's not he's a coach at the end of the day, but he's one of those guys that remind me. That's why, like, Northwestern in the 90s with Ice and Billy Rowe and Steve Gallen and all these brothers that was there. Roland Smith, that's at Central, and all of them that came out of that, it was a special bunch, and they really gave a fuck about the youth and the kids. And then you think about how many children they've saved their lives. You know what I'm saying?
Look, Chris said the first thing he sat down with Ice today, first thing Ice told him was like, all right, you here for football, but you got to get your degree. Yep. He said that's the first thing. He said, if you come here and don't get a degree, we wasted our time.
Yeah.
So for him to say that off rip, because he's trying to build a program, of course, Chris played Central all day, this, all day, that. But first time he see the kid, he said, yo, I need you to get your degree. That's building a program. So I think the city, we got to stand behind that one.
Yeah.
And we got to try to help change this mindset of, I'm going to play for FOMO or I'm going to FAMU. We got to make kids feel like, yo, you going to play for FAMU? Yeah. Just like if they're going to play for Alabama, we got to change that mindset as a people. So I think it's
changing. I think it's changing because now HBCU culture and whatnot. I think it's changing, and I think it's changing. Chris Broussard just talked about that. About he put out a video.
Yeah, I like that because it wasn't after the Chris Paul rule.
And
Rich Paul.
My bad.
Rich
Paul.
You're
right.
Glad
Rich
you guys,
Paul.
because I don't know sports, so
please
chime in.
You said Chris Paul, and it's one of them things you just Chris Paul, but it's Paul. You just don't know the but it was Rich Paul.
Rich Paul rule, which was the NCAA
agent rule,
creating all these barriers and regulations that really kind of targeted him and people like him, black people who were stepping into that field and killing it. Mm-hmm. And so I like with that. It was a sports reporter who said, like, okay, let's, say fuck you and like it to them and send people to HBCUs and let's rally behind them and build value in that. And I think it's a great opportunity with what they're doing at Florida Memorial, and I'm hoping that their sports program grows because for a lot of us going out of town, and that's like from Palm Beach to Monroe, like you could still drive, to campus and you could still live at home, and that's like something that an expense that your family doesn't have to incur anymore, and you're going to a world-class school with a world-class program. So I think that's going to transform our community in a way that we're going to see like the benefits of that like 10, 20 years from now.
Well, to segue into this new situation, let's talk about Miami Gardens and Sabrina and Gilbert.
Because that's going to play a huge role in that.
That's going to play a huge role, in the politics, down the line. So I heard there was some stuff going on with them two. Or one of them, so to speak.
I mean, Gilbert is looking great right now. He's raised over like $300,000, and the race isn't even until next year. And Sabrina is not raising as much as people thought. And I think it was FloridaPolitics.com showed that she had raised like maybe about $30,000 to his $300,000 within the last 4 months. And she also received a donation that was over the limit, so that breaks the rule. So she doesn't give that money back, that's a misdemeanor. I think a federal misdemeanor or something like that. Yeah, like it's just some seriousness. So she has to give that money back to make sure that she's still in compliance with the rules. But to me, it's just like, and I hate to say this, I just feel like these are rookie mistakes. And I feel like you jumped into the big boy leagues, big girl leagues or whatever, and you not really prepared for what's going on. And I think a lot of people underestimated Gilbert, even though I think they shouldn't have. Like, nigga, he been doing this. And she's, you know, for the most part, just kind of like I see her as like a motivational speaker. Like, she didn't have like a political background to me. So I kind of felt almost insulted. Like, what makes you think you're, you know, have the experience to represent the county? That's not something small to do. I don't think that should be your first go around, like to jump into South Florida politics. This isn't a small town. Yeah. You don't, the county is a big deal.
Big deal. And I think for me, I'm biased. The mayor was at my fucking surprise birthday party, okay? So for everybody who's going to sit up there and say that, oh, Munch is saying this because, you know, y'all quick to say that's my homie, da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, I'm good friends with Mayor Gilbert. And the thing about being a friend of a mayor or something like that, you have access to hold his ass accountable.
Yeah, I get that too, but it's like when his shit fuck up, we also say it as well. Yeah, about Gilbert or Miami Gardens. Yeah,
when shit's fucked up, you know, I actually do, you know, go the fuck in. So like, and I talk about it and I call him, you know, and then we talk about what's the solution to that.
That's the courtesy you get as a friend. Like, you know that I'm going to do it. You know, get blindsided. You know, and that's the only courtesy you get. But we still going to do our job.
And this is why I can say Gilbert is a friend Gilbert knows, right? Because Gilbert knows me. Gilbert knows that. And just by what he told me that night at my birthday party, the thing is, he got up and said some stuff. So the thing is just like, he knows that all I want to do is represent my community and hold them accountable. You get me? So when that's not, when, you know, so it's nothing personal. It's just like, yo, you fucking up. And that's all, that's like our civic responsibility to do so, you know? So going into the Sabrina situation, yeah, I'm a bit biased. I did feel a bit like, what the fuck? Like, why she running? But
I feel like a lot of people thought that.
And then to say like your first thing was gun violence. I'm just being honest. I'm a person who works on gun violence, so y'all can come at me all y'all want to. It's okay. It's cool. But if y'all really want to drop them numbers, it's gonna circle back every time. So the thing is with gun violence, I think it's too played. It's too politicized in our community too many times and stigmatized as some issue. When they wanted to come in and give us change and opportunity in Liberty City, they came in with Liberty City Rising. The mayor was running an election, and he wanted to get re-elected, and he knew he needed them black votes. Everybody talk about the Cubans and the Cuban vote rule, but he knew he needed them votes too, because across the board, civic participation is low. So, especially locally. And you can win by thousands of votes, not, you know, a large margin. So within 1,000 sometimes. So that's how I look at it. I don't know what the situation is with Sabrina.
She need to get it together.
Yeah, like I would invite her to the show and try to be as unbiased as possible, because, you know, that's just what we do.
Almost definitely.
And invite them. Like, I'm not a person who's just like, oh, you know, she this and this. So if y'all hear this and y'all hear that I'm biased, I hope y'all watch the whole episode. You know what I'm saying? Take the whole clip. We got IGTV now. So,
yeah, they're both welcome to the show. Definitely to come on and tell the listeners like why they should vote for them. We're all for that. There are some birthdays that happened to some great people. Uncle Al had his birthday anniversary.
Uncle Al's birthday was
and Nipsey Hussle's birthday. 14th. Was it today?
Nipsey's is today.
Yeah. I know he meant a lot to you guys. Like, what are you guys thinking on his birthday, Emmanuel? I know you're a fan.
I mean, I'm a huge Nipsey fan. You know, his birthday is just right now. It's just like what myself and Munch and Roots Collective, what Juwan is doing is just like, we just gotta keep applying it. Like you said, the marathon continues, and we just got to keep doing what we got to do. We got to keep creating, keep being innovative, and just, you know what I'm saying, just collaborating and making some dope things happen. And you know what I'm saying? So like that's just like how I'm celebrating his birthday today, is always just pushing forward. And you know, I mean, I guess we'll probably talk about more things like as the show goes on. But yeah, that's just my take on Brother Nip. You know what I'm saying? He's a Leo, which was dope. I know a lot of people tend to talk trash about Leos, but I think Leos are cool
I'm a
people.
Leo too, man. So fuck y'all.
You know, so like, yeah, I mean, yeah, you know what I'm saying? We just gotta apply what his principles. You know, that's pretty much all I gotta say.
Juwan?
Yeah, I'm just using this day for just motivation. You know, everything he did, just trying to continue. You know, like you said, marathon continues, and just staying motivated and stand on that path, because things do get hard, you know, but you just got to keep driving through it. That's it.
What's your favorite Nipsey song? If you had to.
Zabo said bigger than life.
Bigger than life.
Bigger than life. I mean, I know it's one of his commercial songs, but I love rap niggas. I mean, cause it's like how I feel a lot of the time. I'm not a rapper, but like when it comes to like community stuff, like I'm really nothing like a lot of, you know, y'all organization people. You know, like I'm just like doing what I'm doing, and like I'm still staying true to the game. You know, like the song is like, it sounds like it's an ignorant trap song, but like when you listen to the lyrics,
yeah,
it's actually
like, nigga,
saying,
I'm not the same.
I'm not
a
the
different
same,
breed.
and like I'm doing this and that, like what y'all doing. So like, you know, that's what's like, it's motivation, really.
Yeah, that was the song where he really like put down.
Yeah.
On like, nigga, I'm Nip, and this is y'all. And for me, every time I see the picture, every time we scrolling here at the murals, it's like you get these moments, but every now and again that you just be like, damn, Nip. Like, and for me, it's like bittersweet. It's like almost the situation with Uncle Al being the day before.
Yeah, our own local,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And DJ Uncle Al, for people who don't know, who may be watching, was a local DJ, pioneered the Miami-based sound, Sugar Hill DJs, and he had a motto, "Peace in the Hood," that he really believed in, and you know, to this day, it's people like myself who trying to, you know, keep that legacy alive. That's the legacy of Liberty City, you know. For all of us, you know, was to make it out and always come back and give back. And he started that. He really instilled that in a lot of us. And, you know, like I said online, it's just my hope. You know, I got the blessing from the family, and shout out to Uncle Al Jr., man. I know, you know, hope he having, you know, some good days. I know it get rough around this time. But, yeah, man, he was a huge inspiration to the city, and we just trying to, you know, carry the legacy, man.
Yeah.
So.
I love that you keep his legacy alive through what you're doing. And, you know, you have an event called Peace in the Hood. So I think something like that is what he was striving for. And I know he would be proud to see, you know, you doing your thing. So
he was, you know what I'm saying? Like Uncle Al had a you know, huge Broward influence too. You know, he would come to Hollywood. There's stories of him coming to Liberia and things like that. And I actually got to know Uncle Al Jr. through a brother named Gabriel from over in the Sistrunk area, where he was doing the Peace in the Hood for Broward and everything. You know what I'm saying? And then like, that's how I got to meet Uncle Al Jr. And it was just like a blessing, because like when I was growing up as a little kid and I was going to elementary school in Miami Shores Elementary and Oak Grove, and I went to Horace Mann Middle for a little bit, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was hearing about Uncle Al, and it's just like, now it's like his son is like my age group. Yeah. And, you know what I'm saying? Just getting to know him and having a conversation with him, and him actually giving me props for what I do was like true blessing.
That's what's up. And you guys recently, you know, laid to rest, I guess, Broward's Uncle Al, or somebody who was a big influence in the community, rapper and the community advocate, Tobias.
Tobias Calvert,
tell us about that and what his legacy you feel will be on that community.
I mean, Tobias was someone I knew since like 2004, 2005. You know what I'm saying? We both graduated class of 06, South Broward High School.
Okay.
And he was like a big time artist. Like he had Fast Car, which was like one of like his most popular songs, and like people didn't really know that. It's like when Ross came to Liberia and Ross and Pusha T shot a video in Liberia. I forgot the name of the song it's called, but when they shot the video in Liberia, like Bias was really buzzing, and you know what I'm saying, and Ross signed Skrilla, and you know what I'm saying, all love and respect to Skrill, but like at that like Bias was that dude and everything, and there was talks of like Bias signing to MMG, but then Bias went through some hard times, you know what I'm saying. He got on Flocka for a little bit, and it slowed him down. But like Bias was like someone who everybody knew, you know what I'm saying, whether you were in Carver Ranches, Hallandale, Fort Lauderdale, like Bias was somebody who would go on Facebook and be like, hey, I'm gonna throw a block party tonight. In like 30 minutes, he gonna get like 80 likes, 150 likes, and he would have people from Deerfield to Dade in Liberia on J. Ely Boulevard with their donks and everything, and just having a good time, peaceful, a good vibe and everything. And he was always like a cool, chill, humble dude, you know. Like I remember when I reconnected back with him it was about like 2015. He was staying in Lauderdale by the swap shop. You know what I'm saying? He was like, man, I need a ride to Liberia real quick. And I was at home. I ain't doing nothing. Like, yo, where you at? Send me the address. I went, picked him up. We went to Sonny's, got some breakfast and everything, and we were chopping it up. He was just like, man, you know, like I really see you doing like your community thing, and like, you know what I'm saying, like I really, you know what I'm saying, rock with what you're doing. And I was telling him about the idea of doing like the Black Broward Film Project, and he was with it. And then we ended up interviewing him, and we always just been cool, you know what I'm saying, like, and he was doing like community things on the back end. People knew him as being like, you know, a dude in the streets and on a music tip, but like he was also like a community advocate as well. He would be with Henry Graham at these civic association meetings on the low. You know, like he was pushing for to reopening the Addicts pool for the community. You know, so you know, like it was a huge loss, man. I mean, like I think everybody got a story with Bias, and like one of the sayings go like, you know what I'm saying, like Bias would bring the whole city out. That's what I was like the motto that like people always say about him. And you know what I'm saying, like, it was a huge loss. It was about like 600 to 800 people at the funeral. The funeral was so big, like they had to have it at Addicts, the school. Like it was too big for the church.
Wow.
So like it was like the whole auditorium was filled. Like all 3 rows, people on the side, and you had people in the cafeteria. That's how much people was at his funeral.
Respects, yeah.
You know, so like, you know, it was beautiful. You know, like he went out beautiful. You know, and yeah, it's a huge loss, but you know what I'm saying, like we keeping the legacy alive. Me and A1, you know what I'm saying, like I'm pushing the change 23rd Ave to Tobias Calvert Ave, because you know, if anyone went to South Broward, you know what I'm saying, you heard about MOB 23, and that was their clique. You know what I'm saying, that was the Liberia clique, MOB 23, and you hear it on the song, MOB the squad.
So now, let's talk about you guys. And just to reintroduce you to our listeners, we have Emmanuel George and Juwan Burton. Did I get that correct, guys?
Yes.
And you guys are filmmakers, artists, activists, just all around dope ass people. So tell us about the events that you have coming up and what people can expect.
All right, so next week, August 22nd, Art Serve presents Home, the Art of Community. I think they're celebrating their like 30-year anniversary. They've been in business for like 30 years, 31 years. And they have a new director. So they want to add more diversity. You know what I'm saying? They want to add more things for black people, like black locals, you know what I'm saying, like Spanish folks, LGBT folks, whoever. Cause I don't know if that was like one of the criticism that they were getting, but like for the most part, it was always like Art Serve was like, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, black folks don't really go to Art Serve, you know, like, so they're celebrating their reopening, they're relaunching, they got a new director, and myself and Juwan got involved with this project because Ed, who is their marketing director, I was in the city of Hallandale at a commission meeting in regards to the new art district that they're opening in Hallandale called FAD, Future Art and Design District. And he was hearing what I was saying. He liked what I was talking about. He like, yeah, let's have a meeting at Art, so let's talk, you know. And then I'll tell him my story about who I am and what I do and like what my mission is. And him and his director, whose name is Craig, was like, yeah, I'd like to have you be a part of this event coming up in August. I was like, all right, cool. you know, and myself and Juwan, you know, we knew each other because he went to South Broward, but he graduated a year after me, 07, but so we didn't really know each other, but like we knew each other through Facebook and a lot of mutual friends, and he was in New York at that time going to film school, so it was always like, you know what I'm saying, like I was seeing what he was doing, he was seeing what I was doing. It's like, all right, like when you touch back down, like we're gonna work, we're gonna collaborate, we're gonna make some things happen. So I hit him up like, hey man, you know what I'm saying, it's time to collab, you know, let's make it happen. And then you know, we doing the behind the scenes footage, and basically what we doing is we want to represent like black creatives in Broward County, like, you know, because it's like this is a space that we're not really in. Like the tickets are $75, so like, you know, like a lot of people that in my area is probably not going to go there. It's going to be bougie, upper class, you know, white folks and stuff like that. So they also fundraising and they also aiming to get money. So my thing is like, for his brand, driven to get money. So to push that initiative for what he's doing for Carver Ranches, for me and C.R.E.A.T.E and Black Broward for what's going on, to bring that money that these rich folks are bringing into the event. So, you know, that's the goal that we're doing. We also did a short film called The 4 Pillars of South Broward, which talks about Carver Ranches, Hallandale, Daney, and Liberia. And it's basically like what home means to us. So like we interview people from each area, from each community, and we just put it in like a 7-minute short film talking about what home means to us and where do we see our home going. Because a lot of things happening, like what's happening in Overtown and Liberty City and Little Haiti is happening over here up north with us. So that's what we doing. And then Destination Sistrunk, there's 2 films. The same film, The 4 Pillars of South Broward, and there's another film called The Heroes of 6th Street. 6th Street is Sistrunk Boulevard, and it's like a superhero movie where it's like people from like the community are like fighting this developer, you know, from gentrification.
And that's the film you guys are working on?
No, I don't know who did that movie. It might be some local people from Lauderdale that did that, but it's gonna be at the library. Okay. And then we got you know, Support the Real, which is in Pompano. It was gonna be at the Ally Cultural Center, but then they moved me to the Pompano Beach Culture Center, which is a bigger space, but I wanted Ally just for the history of it, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, it's straight, and Support the Real was something that I created to give black filmmakers a platform, because I felt as if like it's like in Broward, like we had so many dope videographers and people doing dope creative content that like there was no place for us to really like highlight it, to showcase it, and that was my goal for them to, so you could watch their films and you could critique it and have a conversation about it. And Juwan got a film in there called Good Morning Babe. He could tell you about it, and Munch got his film in there too, and we're also showing The 4 Pillars of South Broward. So
when is that?
That's August 29th at the Pompano Beach Cultural Center.
Dope.
Yeah.
So I wanted to I guess highlight, because we talked about Jay and, you know, maneuvering through the process, right? How was that process for you? One, being in that community space and then having to navigate through this now art space in the context of community.
I mean, you want to go or?
No, you go ahead.
All right, go ahead. All right, cool. So, you know, I try to get, you know, it's the Libra in me. Want to be all about balance. But yeah, like for me, it was like, all right, like I know art service isn't really my type of scene. You know, like I'm gonna be honest, it really isn't. Like I'm more so like, all right, we could just do something at the Midtown Art Gallery on Sistrunk, or at the or there's another gallery on Sistrunk, which is right behind Bass Brothers, or Old Dillard, or the African American Research Library, or the Ally Center in Pompano. Like those are more so my scene because they're historical context with it and doing something there. So like me being at Art Serve, on one side I'm like, dang man, like kind of working with these folks. But then again, it's like, you know what? Like, this could open up doors for other creatives, you know, in Broward. So, like, that's my thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so they can see that, all right, there's some people in our backyard that we could hire to do some art, to do some film, to, you know, to do creative things like that, you know? So if I got to be that person to open the door, then by all means, let's do it. So it's interesting navigating it, but, you know, we gonna make it work.
That's what's up.
And Juwan, you got a film? Go ahead. No.
No, I just wanted to know when Destination Sis Trunk was.
August 24th from 3 to 5.
Okay, so you guys got back to back.
Yeah, back to back to back.
So 24th, 29th,
and 22nd.
Okay.
Yeah, my film is the one that we've been showing in the Support the Real is called Good Morning Babe. It's like my first film from when I graduated. Like I made that film to graduate film school when I was up in New York last year. But it's like it's a film with no sound, but you see everything and you could see like the story or like the dilemma of it. So I'll give y'all the basic premise. So the basic premise of it is just, are good morning texts like viable? So because women put so much value in such a a thing on getting that good morning text in the morning. So there's a scene in the film where the actor I'm using, he basically sends out a text to a whole bunch of girls, like just a whole bunch, and the girl next to him sees it, and then she goes through her thing throughout the film or whatever. But yeah, it's just covering if those things are actually viable. Does that actually make a good guy? Like, am I really getting a good guy because he's texting me good morning? And it just make you think outside the box a little bit. So
I like that premise. I was hoping you were one of the actors. I'm like, are we gonna see you on the screen, or are you more behind the scenes?
No, I've done some like little small like acting things, but like I'm not really no actor. I've done it where people they don't have nobody else, and they're like, hey, can you just stand in, or can you say this in the film? And I've done that, but people say I could probably be on that, but I don't be trying to be like that. So
you feel like you're more like a John Singleton, like
I want to film it. I want to like the art behind it, how it looks. I'm more into that stuff than the actual acting, because it could be a lot. I'll be telling people, oh, we got to cut, do it over, and do it 100 times.
That's awesome.
So,
exactly.
I like that.
Method acting is no joke.
Acting is no joke.
Cool.
So yeah, that's like what we doing, and like Support the Real is to like be like moved around. So it ain't like, it doesn't really have like a home, because it started at Old Dillard, then we had it at the OLCDC in Opelika. Now we have it at Pompano, and like maybe like January or so we might have it in Hollywood or Hallandale, or even like over here in Liberty City somewhere. So like it's just to like create conversation and build a network, So like that way it's like, all right, like at this event, Munch might want to work with another filmmaker whose work he's seeing and things of that nature. So it's just like a cool vibe, and it's just showcasing what we have, what the talent that we have down here. Because that's my biggest emphasis on like artists and creatives. Like we have so much dope artists, and we always talk about it like me and Munch when it comes to like art gentrification. Like, you know what I'm saying, about like highlighting the local artists, the local creatives, and making sure that they get in on what's happening. Because for the most part, like the developers are probably going to go to ArtServe to find artists in Broward County, and they're not going to go to you know what I'm saying, like where they developing on Sistrunk, like, oh, we're going to look for an artist on Sistrunk. They're going to go for an artist in at ArtServe who might not look like the people in Sistrunk or whatnot. So like now with what we're doing at ArtServe, it's like, okay, now we see that there's a network of Black Broward artists,
and you can level the playing field.
And let's level the playing field. So that's what we aiming to do.
Right. And more actors too. So you're looking to shoot more films. So if you think you're talented and you're an actor,
let me get in on that. Come on, let's do a.
Yeah, didn't you write something?
And writers, yes.
Yeah. See, I love to shoot it. I don't want to be in front of the screen. Like a lot of people have been telling me that, like, boy, you need a little role, and I'm like, nah, man.
You could do it.
Janae, didn't you write? I grew up
like my first before, like growing up at the center. One of the first things I did fall in love with was acting. But after Mr. Johnson kind of like left, I ain't really want to rock with it. You know what I'm saying? And it was just like I just never got back into it. Never got like in a comfortable enough space as an artist. I always wanted to be behind the scenes. So like I always did things that was like, okay, I like it. And I think over the years, like especially when I got older, being in theater, doing plays, like sound and the tech aspect for plays, I think I've developed a more profound like respect for it and love for it. But for me to do it is like, I don't know, you know what I'm saying?
You'd be surprised.
Because hold on, because I look at guys like Keith Wade, who is on a new series, right? By OWN. Is that I think that's the David Makes Man that just premiered.
Oh, I was watching it before I got here.
Yeah, by Terrell Alvin McCraney.
Yeah,
so like,
shout him out for his home team.
Yeah, home team from the center from Liberty City. You know, who's actually the writer of Moonlight, Oscar award-winning writer of Moonlight. And so like, you know, being around that growing up is like, all right, this is a hub, you know what I'm saying? But I just always respected like them in their craft. I never like looked at myself like I can do this. Like, nah.
Yeah, it's
You
hard.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's hard. I tried it in high school, senior year, and
me too.
And in Broward College, I took acting class in the summer, and I remember doing a monologue for Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I did the dude named Damone's, whatever his name was in the movie. I did his monologue, and yeah, like it's a lot of patience. Like, but me, I'd rather be behind the scenes. I'd rather write up a story and then have like someone shoot it and then they edit it and whatnot, and then just like seeing what I visualize in my head come to fruition.
Yeah.
That's cool. That was actually my dream as a kid, and then Mr. Garcia at Myrtle Grove Elementary shot it right out of me. He was like, "It's going to be hard, and you shouldn't do it." And I totally gave up on it. And I literally had like in like fourth grade, I had the plan in my head. I was like, "I'm going to go to a magnet school. I want to do this," and like I was so serious about it. And then when he told me that, it just kind of put that doubt in my head. And I believed it. He was an adult, and he was the chorus teacher. So I was like, oh, it's hard, and it's something I can't do. And I just never pursued it. I think I tried to back in college. I took, like, acting classes. It's not something I want to do now, but I do like you tried to call me out. I did write a script, and
We're calling you out. We just acknowledging your gift.
Yeah, because it's dope.
No, it's something I'll be a part of projects. I just don't see myself as like somebody in front of the camera anymore. Like I would rather write and do those things, but I don't like if somebody needs me and I'm like, okay, I'll do it, but I don't think it's like, okay, here's my headshot. I'm gonna do my little audition tape. I'm not going hard for it. Yeah. But I support.
You're not gonna put a billboard up for Tyler Perry.
I'm not gonna.
Besides,
not putting up
besides, he said, do not.
He was
do
like,
that
stop
shit.
wasting your money on that. But no, I respect. Artists. So I think it's really cool that you guys are doing that, and I'm like so excited to see the film and the other projects. Is there anything else that you guys are working on together or separately?
Well, I was gonna also say too that we do need more actors and like more more emphasis on black filmmakers, because like you look at Spike Lee and how he catches like the beauty of Brooklyn, like when he films, and how he catches so much symbolism and like subliminal things like in his work. Like even like recently, I know the show got canceled. She's Gotta Have It in season 1 when he did
crying on the inside.
when he did the homage to like the famous people at the was it the Fort Greene Cemetery or whatnot.
Oh yes.
You know, like it was something like that was dope, and I feel as if like we could tell stories of like what's happening over here in Dade and Broward, like whether it's like a film about like Overtown back before I-95 and connect it to something that's happening today. You know, like where it might be a character in that movie whose grandson is in another movie of present today, or like a film about like Sis Drunk back in the day, or a film about the Palms nightclub, which was in Hallandale, that was in the Chitlin circuit. Yeah. You know, like there's so many like interesting stories. Like I know y'all got like a lot of interesting dope stories in Miami, but like Broward has like so many interesting gems in our backyard that like people do not really know. And I think like it was to be captured and documented and told, we could really go some places. So like we really do like need to emphasize on the black creatives over here.
I agree, and I was watching She's Gotta Have It and Insecure in Atlanta with Childish Gambino, Donald Glover, and I was like, where is Miami or South Florida's story? And I hate that people don't think that it's black people that's here. And I think that the role that you guys are playing, and any other filmmakers or writers that are bringing stories here, like with David Makes Man, that takes place in Homestead, and that's a new series on OWN. And I was like, yo, thank you. Like finally people see that it's black people here, and I think that helps drives the economy, tourism. People want to come. you know, music, like everything. I think people don't realize that it's a lot of us here and that we're thriving and that we're living and we're growing. And I think that film helps tell that story, like open people's eyes up to it.
Another question I wanted to ask is about like Urban Film Festival is around the corner. I think Labor Day weekend. Any of y'all submitting anything for Urban Film Festival?
No, not yet. I mean, to be honest with you, this whole month, everything leading up to this month has just been like so jam packed. Like going back to July, like we were like actually like, you know what I'm saying, like held back a little bit when Bias passed.
Yeah, but, I know that took a breath away.
That took like 3 weeks out, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, yeah. I mean, I went to Urban Film Festival about like 2 years ago. It was real dope. I watched a Miami Love Story. I think that's what it's called, about like the whole Haitian and Dominican Republic. It's all right. It's cool. It's cool. You know, like I remember watching a Miami Love Story. It's on Amazon Prime right now too. But like I don't know if it's too late. It's like right
I don't think so. Just I know they got some flyers going around. Go on the website. I think they still may not be accepting some submissions. And
where is the Urban Film
usually
Festival?
is at the
Lyric, right?
Is at the Lyric Theater.
Mm-hmm.
Is it with the
and
Florida
that's
Film
Florida
House?
Film House in Marco, and you know, First Take with the kids, and they have some acting workshops and different things. And
Are you doing something with them?
Last year I went and I kind of like I supported and like volunteered. I know I seen the film with YD. YD was acting. So like when we get him on the show, it's something we setting up right now, and it's gonna be real special because YD is one of my favorite like local artists.
Shout out to YD.
You know, Overtown, Towners for Life. He's the Overtown ambassador, and the movie that he put together it was epic. Just put like that. It was I forget the name, but the concept was so dope. It basically was like Smack DVD meets Snow on the Bluff.
Oh man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's you know the white boy who's like Smack DVD, you know, on some Smack DVD shit. And
What's
then
Smack DVD?
it used to be like these old hip hop documentaries.
Oh, okay.
Like they go like hood to hood documentaries. Like that's what it's called, like hood to hood. And it'll be like these, you know, real life, you know, like experiences in the hood of like different neighborhoods before you can, you know, everybody and their mama was on live and social media and whatnot.
What's Snow on the Bluff?
Snow on the Bluff was a film.
Man, that thing was crazy. You ain't see Snow on the Bluff?
I know. Netflix. That's what I'm saying. Snow on the Bluff.
First of all, don't take my black card.
Yeah.
Isaiah's yelling in the background,
She don't watch shit like that, man. She want to watch that eccentric and eclectic shit.
I be wanting to be in love and laugh. That's all
exactly.
I want to do.
She want to love and laugh. That's what I'm saying. Eclectic.
No, not reality
Eclectic.
TV. I just said she's got to have it in Insecure. Like, I like those shows, Atlanta.
Yeah.
What's
you know,
Snow on the Bluff? I'm not
Snow on the Bluff is
the listeners
like
may not know
see for
either.
you that's more like I see like the stuff you look at is more like it's more appealing to writers who can appreciate a story, right? And like these movies are more like hood docos, like docu-series type situations where like it's more like Snow on the Bluff is like a POV style shot movie of like niggas in the street really like living the street life, like Trapping Ain't Dead, you know what I'm saying? So as well as this new shit that shout out to Aaron, Gang Tapes. That shit so fucking crazy. It's like it gives you like a real live like introduction to like Crippin' 101, like G shit. Like
Is it on Netflix?
Nah,
or YouTube?
it's on YouTube.
I mean, I'll check it out.
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
Like
it's gonna fuck you up.
Black media.
It's called Gang Tapes. It's like Snow on the Bluff, but in L.A.
Snow on the Bluff takes place here in Miami.
In Atlanta.
Oh,
it's in Atlanta.
Yeah.
So niggas is literally living trap life, like shooting at niggas and all, like. But it's like real life shit. Like it's so real, but but at the end of the day, it's not a real like Snow on the Bluff. Later came out to be not real. Country Wayne, all that shit. Then, you know, Gang Tapes, I don't believe is real because they use an actor in it, but it's shot in a way that gives this real feeling. That is, but it's probably a real tape in reality that they made a film out of and just tried to keep the same creative style of film. So when I look at those and our hood, you know, like our stuff that we're watching, and Urban Film Festival, you feel me? It's a lot of different movies. Like Mr. Wrong came out of Mr. Wrong that was in theaters. That was written by somebody down here. And it actually, you know, that's the one that had David Banner in it.
Oh, yeah.
David Banner and Romeo.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Wrong, that was written by somebody in Miami.
Oh, that's
you feel me?
up.
And it premiered at the Urban Film Festival. And he's one of the bigger, he led, I think,
that's
acting.
why Master P and Romeo were here that year?
Yeah, not so much that year. They really are locked in with Urban Film Festival and Florida Film House. So they got some stuff coming. They got more projects they working on, you know. So when Master P's talking about, like, we doing this independent thing, like, Miami's part of that too, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, I think, you know, in the next year we're going to get fortunate enough and get, like, my idols, like Master P, to come to the show.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying?
Your
And,
mouth to God.
you know, because when I was 7 years, I only had 2 birthday parties in my lifetime. One when I was 7 and one when I was 30. 30, I got a surprise. 7, I had a no-limit block party.
What?
You know what I'm saying?
Wait, you got to do that for 31.
Yeah.
You got to recreate that.
So it was like a block party / basketball tournament. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. But it's been done. Like, I seen, like, that's what I seen, like, with Summer Rim and a lot of these. Like, shout out my boy Gino. Happy birthday to Gino. Octane weekend. We gonna have him on the show. Another brother out of North Miami. He's like when people say, you know, try to make the comparisons with me to Nip, or they try to make or Zabo. The first 2 people I think about is people like Zabo, people like Danny, people unlike myself. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm thinking of people who've actually created and built things. You know, Gino is somebody who's actually has a tire shop. You know, he's employing his neighborhood. He did a lot of, you know, crazy shit. But at the end of the day, he changed it. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you created and built this. This is always
this is
Lunch's platform and Lunch's business. And
I guess
I was brought into this.
Yeah,
this is yours. You built this.
You're right. But the way and a lot of it is mindset. You know what I'm saying? And what I was talking about is, like, when we talk about really building, we're building platforms that can then build systematic institutions, right? And I think about, like, when we think about Black House. If Danny, Zabo, and myself and others who were part didn't contribute in the way we did, then Black House wouldn't be here. Now Black House is a space that now can open its doors to others. There's so many other people that's now in the neighborhood. It's like, oh, this is so different. You know, we just had a situation with the police outside, earlier, you know, what it was, Tuesday, Wednesday, with a situation with the police and some young kids. And, you know, it was us that stepped in the middle of that. You feel me? And literally, like, police was trying to take kids to jail, and it was a situation where they got things misunderstood, and we calmed the kids down, brought them in here, got them to chill out a little bit, and, you know, talk to the parent. And that's what this facility is for. You know what I mean? It's a event space. As much as we got a print shop, we got the showroom, but this event space is a space where now I don't have to go look for where I'm going to host my podcast at. I'm here. You get what I'm saying? So that's the things when I think of Nip. Nip created institutions for other people to thrive. Yes, he was the anchor tenant. He brought in things. He had, you know, who knows who was the true mastermind behind a lot of these things. It may have been Black Sam, his older brother, but like he said, that was all Nip. You know, from day one, he read books. He did this. He did that. That was just a step above. You know, affordable housing was the next thing for him. Yeah, I've been a part of deals that brought a lot of money in, you know, the city and secured a lot of and empowered other people in my neighborhood. But I'm like, I'm at a point where it's like I gotta build shit for it to last. You know, this building in itself, we was talking earlier, is literally something that our elders in this community built years ago, and it just ironically, coincidentally happened that we're doing the same exact thing that 20 years ago, you know, in the 80s, black folk was doing. Like DC Clark was coming here to get I Am shirts printed. You know, we print and fulfill shirts for the community, for other people, other brands. Wow. You know, so that's something like for me. You know, that's what when I say the Nip thing. I take it. I don't take it lightly. It's like, yeah, it's a big thing, but I look at it from a standpoint of Nip was actually building. You know, he was actually, like, he built shit. And I think everybody who's, like, humble enough to be like, nah, Nip is in the league of his own right now until we build some shit. Because we all are responsible for building institutions. Even with Jay, he's now responsible for building. That's why we give him so much flack, because he's responsible for now building institutions and infrastructure, whether it's on the financial funding level or however, you know, even with the brother Robert, the Morehouse, you know what I'm saying? I think Robert, I forget his last name.
Yeah, the billionaire who
gave. He's creating a fund. He's building shit. He's using his leverage and his power to now flip the system and build institutions that now can counter the institutions that have systematically held us back on our own. And that's what it's more about. If you look at everything strategic, you know, and when Nip talks about victory lapping, he say made a couple moves that became strategic. You know, he had his gang alternatives, but he was his own man. He built his own shit. You feel me? Now he has his own leverage. He can't be bought. You can't buy him. You can't tell him shit. I look at Zabo with the pool party. He built that. It took 10 years for him and the crew to build it, of course. But at the end of the day, he built that. You get what I'm saying? And he has now that leverage. He can go and say, at the same time, I'm a fucking teacher. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. So when Zabo has a pool party and say, y'all support me when I run for political office, it's a total deeper meaning behind it, because I can't be bought. I can't be bought. You know what I'm saying? I'm going in with the upper hand when I go in there. I'm going in grounded, because these are the people who made me come up, and y'all didn't give me, y'all crackers ain't give me shit. So that's what I'm more so moving to. You know what I'm saying? Now is like build platforms, build institutions so that other people, and that's always been about. You know, even with Black Broward, you know, it was all, when we first linked up with Roots, it was about. I told Dan, we used to always have these conversations. He was like, man, I feel so disconnected because I feel like I should be in Broward, and it was like, remember we was talking about like,
of course.
Like go to Broward. You know what I'm saying? Build Broward, and it was like conversations of how do we make that look the way we you know what I'm saying, how we doing, like everything is mirrored, everything is a communication, and that's the way we should be going. I feel like it's like, what are we building? Even from Jay-Z, we kneeling now, we want action. What the fuck are we building? You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and that's definitely I don't even know if it's like the kind of conversation, but like it's like a free talk we have. It's just that, like, you know, like if for Broward, I feel that is the next move that we need to be having. You know, like, and I talked to Juwan about it a few times about, like, you know what I'm saying, having a creative hub space similar to like what the Black House has, where people can come to, because like Broward, we have like there's like no centralized area for Black creatives to go to. Like, we all like fragmented. You got some folks over here doing something, you know, you got folks over on this side doing a little something, but there's like no centralized hub. I always felt as if like what Roots had, you know what I'm saying, with the Black House and whatnot, and what Danny and Zabo, what you doing, is always like y'all have a spot, you know what I'm saying? Y'all have like the Kickback Wednesdays, the
Kickback Fridays,
Kickback Fridays. I'm sorry, the low key Wednesdays.
Trap Social.
You know, y'all have so much things happening. It's like we could real deal have something like that in Broward, and it's just like, it's just a network. It's like a bright line. Like, you know what I'm saying? You go to Roots Black House, and then when you come up, you go to Broward here, and then we end up pushing like Exhibition Trill and whatnot in West Palm Beach.
And then Orlando, you got For the Culture.
Yeah, For the Culture, and your other homeboy Miles and whatnot.
You know what I'm saying? Let your voice be heard.
Yeah, so like we just gonna continue doing that. Like, and that's how we keep the marathon going. Like, you know, and that's what I'm aiming to do, and is that to build this platform for Black creatives in Broward County. I've always been saying that's my agenda, and that's what I'm going to aim to do while I'm here.
Do you guys see the progress in Broward? Like, do you guys see people coming together more and trying to build together more? Because to me, Broward's such a big space. So how do you guys come together? Like, where's your central? Because to me, when I think of it, it's the Cis-Trunk Fort Lauderdale area. Am I correct in saying like that's the place that everybody goes to for, I guess, like Black culture in Broward County?
You probably would have more info on that, but I honestly think that you start out, you know, as best as you can locally. Mm-hmm. So like, you know, he reached out to me because he knew, you trying to do something positive in like Carver Ranches, and it's just, I feel like it's more effective when you have, you know, different heads instead of just, you know, one, you know, head. Because as soon as something happens, boom, everything done. Yep. So to be able to disseminate that, you know, that pressure, and be able to come together and be going for, you know, one common goal, but still be, have your own unique, style and creativity with everything, I think is viable. But yeah, he'll have more on.
Yeah, I'll answer that. Cis-Drunk, I always say like the most hyped areas is Cis-Drunk because of the social justice aspect, you know what I'm saying, brought a lot of attention to it. And Pompano because Esther Roll is from there. Mm-hmm. So Cis-Drunk has things going, but it ain't really people from Cis-Drunk. Yeah. So it's like black cultural people do things in Cis-Drunk, but it ain't really people, you get what I'm saying? Like it ain't people from Cis-Drunk that's really doing it.
Miramar's
so there'll be like
not in that?
Miramar got some things happening. But like we don't have like that centralized area yet. That's the thing. It's like you have like some like poetry, African poetry thing happening in Cis-Drunk, but it's people from like elsewhere, from like Pembroke Pines, from Lauderdale Lakes or like other places doing it there and whatnot. But it ain't really something like where it's like, all right, you got this person who's really from Cis-Drunk doing something. And like that's always been my goal, like Jawan's in Carver Ranches, A1's in Liberia, I'm in Hollywood and Dania Beach, Jasmine Lasane's in Pompano, like, all right, like everyone got their own network, and like it's just like let's just build something, and we have like a centralized area, no matter where it be. But right now, I'm mainly focusing on South Broward, and that's where I'm from, and like we are unified in Broward County, but I feel as if like people have how can I say this in like the best way, is that like one of the issues, like everybody want to lead, and it's like, and that's the issue with me. It's like sometimes like you got to know when to fall back. You got to know like what lane you're in, like and not overstep your boundaries. Like if you know that ain't your lane, you know what I'm saying, like you can fall back and reference somebody to someone who's in that lane, and that's where I feel as if what we need to do in Broward. But for the most part right now, like we don't got the centralized spot, no location. But we working on it because we do have a lot of creatives. You have Jawan, you have JD Raw Talent, you have Richard, you have Cherish, you have Casper. You got so many artists I could name in Broward County that's like, I could probably name about 30 or 40 black artists in Broward.
Spiffy,
Doogie. You got so many to name, like just creative people doing things. But we just got to have that hub space and everything. That's what we aiming to push for. So that like eventually, we will have like our own black house type thing happening. Right. So that's just where I see it.
And then stuff like that inspire people to come back too. Cause like I've been going for a long time. I really haven't stayed back in Broward for probably like 10 years. I went to school, then I went to the military. Then I was like, shoot, I'm finna further my education and whatnot. So it took me a while to get back, but it's only because I was like dying to come back so I could make some change. But I just feel like the return on investment right now with even just Carver Ranches in general, I would like to see more people who, quote unquote, like made it out actually come back. That way, this gentrification thing is not something that's being, spearheaded by like other people. Yeah. It could be people who actually from here. We could heal our own communities if we actually come back to them and actually have some type of return on investment. So a neighborhood like Carver Ranches where you ride through there, you might not get right now because everybody done built up, everybody got grass now. It's a whole different.
Yeah, it's
nice. Like a suburb.
It's a whole different situation. So it's way different than it was like back in the day. But you'll never know that if you ain't came back home. You might still hear a few things. I mean, it's still the hood. But it's getting better, though. So we could inspire that even more and incentivize people for actually coming back and wanting to come back. So things like what Emmanuel is trying to push and inspire other people to do, that brings people back. So, yeah.
How did you guys get into filmmaking? Like, because you mentioned the military, and Emmanuel, I know you from, I met you, I think, with your film, but how did you guys get into that?
For me, I got into it after I returned from Afghanistan. I started out with.
What was that like? You were like in war, like bang bang, like shoot shoot.
Yeah. No, I have a combat action badge. I was in actual combat.
So you could kill us with your pinky, like you like what are you talking about?
No, he didn't even like that. But
I'm sorry, I just saw Hubs and Shaw, so I'm like,
you just all over, huh?
That's what I'm thinking when you're saying Afghanistan. I'm sorry, but
I mean, yeah, they teach us stuff, but it don't be like nothing like that. But yeah, I injured my leg over in Afghanistan, well, my knee actually, and then I couldn't. The doctor basically told me is like you shouldn't be running no more. So now I'm like, oh shoot, like that's really literally what I've been building my whole life on is my body. So playing football to get into college, or the attempt to go to the NFL. When that didn't work, all right, I'm gonna go in the military because I can still use my body in there and create some type of leverage off of it. Boom, my knee, done. Doctor say, hey man, you shouldn't be running no more, da 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 da. So it just inspired me to kind of like be like, well, all right, well, what do I do now? So at first I started out trying to do photography. I started out trying to play the piano, all kind of stuff, just trying to see like what else I was like actually good at. And then that eventually carried over into like tech. So I wanted to learn how to code. So my main thing is like coding, but it also went into the filmmaking too, because I'm like, I can make a website or an app, but I still need to take photos. I still need to take videos to actually put on that thing, and quality videos at that. So that's what kind of got me into like the whole film space of just wanting to make some high quality content for like my own stuff. But then it also just went into, oh man, I can actually create stuff for other people too in the process, especially people who, got businesses or they want to at least attempt a business. Okay, come on, let me help you create your video that you need for your homepage or your social media. That way you could drive more, customers and stuff to your page and your business.
So you built that into a business?
Yep, that's what I'm building it to now. So now actually helping people with their businesses and creating social content for them and coming up with plans for them to actually be consistent and make quality content. So that's how I kind of got into where I'm at now. But tech is my main thing, and I want to have more people get into tech and coding, and I think that's where the future at. And like you could really lift yourself up from your bootstraps with tech. So it's a lucrative field, and you can make some money there, and you don't have to have no degree. You can learn straight from YouTube. I sell a shirt that's YouTube University, because when I started out, that's all I was doing on YouTube, teaching myself how to, take quality photos, teaching myself how to code, teaching myself how to shoot videos and stuff like that. So it's all a process, but you could get it. The information is there. You just gotta, reach out and try to get it.
That's what's up.
Yeah, as for me, it was I've always liked film growing up. Like Spike was one of my idols. You know what I'm saying? I always loved how Spike Lee shot and everything like that. But I also love how he told his stories and how like a lot of his films were connected and everything. And my thing was like, all right, I'm going to school. I was going to school for radio and television broadcasting at first, and then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go to do the film thing. I went to Full Sail in Orlando. But then I dropped out because it was like I didn't want to die in debt. So I was like, all right, let me get out of here real quick.
That school is expensive.
Yeah, it was like $80,000 a year, not including your living expenses. Because then they also have another part where it's like they'll give you like an apartment and things like that. But then that's like another $25,000, $30,000 to $35,000, on top of that. So I got out and everything, and then it was just like, I'm getting involved in the community with Roots Collective and everything like that. And like when Munch was talking about, like we'd have all these conversations about C.R.E.A.T.E in Broward, and I was always like the outcast in a way because I was the only Broward person. Everybody in Roots from C.R.E.A.T.E. So like I was going back to I'm like going back to where I'm from, And my thing is like, how do I apply something that I like into something creative that can help the community? And that's when it was like, all right, like I do write. I wrote a few stories already, some scripts. And let me tell the story of what was happening in Broward, because people are like, for the most part, don't really know what's happening. Like when like the film project trailer came out that myself, Ian, and Preem did, it was like, oh well, what's Liberia? What's in Hollywood? This is white folks over there, like they didn't really know what was happening. And that's just been my focus, and like I love it because it tells a story, and you could use film as a way to educate people as well as entertain them at the same time. So it's more than just like me beating you in the head with with like literature all day. You know, you watching a film, you dissecting it, you seeing the cinematography, you seeing the editing, how things are shot. You know, so like that's just basically been like my story with film, and I'm just continuing to do that. Just like how you said with Atlanta and Insecure and She's Gotta Have It. Like I want to do that's what I really want to do for like Broward County. You know, in terms of documentary filmmaking, like, I want to tell the story about the Blanche Ely and J.A. Ely. You know, Ely High School. You know, I want to tell stories about Sis Drunk, the Victory Theater, the Palms nightclub. You know, like Addicts High School, like things that like people don't know about, like our age that we don't know about, but we need to know about. Like you got a lot of people in my community who be on J.A. Ely all the time, posted up, but you asked your average 25 to 35-year-old person who J.A. Ely was, they don't even know who he was. So like that's just been like my focus. Like we really got to like preserve the history and the culture, but we got to do it in an artistic, creative way, or else like it's gonna be no one's really gonna care. Yeah. So I feel that the only way people gonna care is if you give it to them in a cool, sexy kind of way. So you know.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah. Well, that history be lost forever. Because a lot of people, one of the things we was talking about covering too was the people from that migrated to Carver Ranches was originally from over in Miami, in Otis, which is now known as Aventura. Yeah. So Aventura Mall, that's right where their community was at. One of the first forms of gentrification. And then where they migrate to Carver Ranches, and we still here.
I didn't know that history about that area.
It's deep.
And that's like it's not deep. Too far from me. I grew up in Carroll City.
Right. It's deep.
Shout out to Cynthia Strawn over in Carver Ranches. Yep. She has the Bold Strawn House, which is like the oldest house in Carver Ranches. I mean, you could educate me. I mean, that's what I heard. But like one of the oldest houses in Carver Ranches, you know, and she was telling me about. That's how I first heard about Otis was through her, when she was talking about like she had like a lot of these pictures from the 40s and the 50s and the 60s in her house, and she was showing like, okay, this brother was from Otis, this and that, and she was also talking about the Liberty City connection too, because from what she was saying about Carver Ranches was that like it was like two white men who bought a bunch of land over there where it's now Carver Ranches. And they were advertising to people from Liberty City to, you know, you can come to Carver Ranches and get yourself a house for $450 at that time. And
what year was that?
1941.
Oh, I'm like $450?
Yeah.
Man, you know, shit was like pennies and nickels back then.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So
yeah, 450 was inflation.
Scrape up 450.
Yeah, but. Yeah, that was like the story. So it's like everything's connected. That's why it's like we really gotta have like people like yourself and what Munch is doing. Like the stories is intertwined. Like Overtown is intertwined with Hallandale. People don't know that, you know, because you ask any older person who's in their 60s and 70s about how being in Overtown and being in Liberty City and the Hampton House, they could tell you about Hallandale and the Palms. You know what I'm saying, about what was happening over there too. You know, they could tell you about Sis Drunk back in those days. So, you know, like it's all connected, and that's just what we doing. We just some black creatives in Broward doing some things.
I love it. What's next for you guys? You got anything that's coming up after these projects in August? Like anything that you guys want to share?
I know I do want to shoot a film. It's gonna be like more tech based, but I do got a good film idea for just a little short that's just gonna shed some more light on like tech, and then what you could do with tech. So we'll see. That's what I plan on shooting. The next like bigger thing.
Okay.
I mean, and for me is I made subliminal posts about it on social media like 2 days ago and today, called An Ode to South Broward. One of the things is that like in Broward County, like you have in North Broward, you have Blanche Ely Museum, which is her house where she used to live. It's now they reopened it. It's a museum, and where you could go and see old Black Pompano. You know, Esther Roll House is still there. You know, on Third Ave. Lauderdale has Old Dillard Museum. South Broward, we really have nothing to preserve our culture and history. So what I'm aiming to do is an ode to South Broward. Whether I'm gonna take like an old bando, or I'm gonna find some kind of warehouse space or something, and it's gonna be like a pop-up kind of gallery type thing. and it's going to be to raise awareness to build a J.A. Ely Historical Society, because J.A. Ely was the first black principal in Broward County, married to Blanche Ely, principal at Attucks High School. You had Dillard, you had Ely, and you had Attucks. Those were like the three. Those were like the Northwestern, Booker T of Broward County. So like the gallery would be like old archive photos of black South Broward. It'll also be artwork that was at my art exhibit in January at Old Dillard, where there was pictures of like paintings of Attucks, paintings of Kitty Oliver, who's like the Marvin Dunn of Broward County, paintings of Leola Collins. I'm gonna work on getting a painting of Boise Waiters, who was the first black elected official in Broward County. So it's gonna be paintings, archive photos, films from Driven, you know, his brand, the Black Broward Film Project trailer, and some snippets from that. The film we're doing, the 4 pillars of South Broward. So it's gonna be like a South Broward black experience, and it's to raise awareness so that we can have a J.A. Ely Historical Society. Because like we talk about, like the history's leaving us. We don't really have much pictures of what was back then. So like that's just like my focus, and that's like 2020 goals that I'm going to make happen. You know, it's just to highlight what we have, or else it's gone. So
I love that idea. Please keep us posted.
Yeah,
for sure.
Most definitely.
For sure.
Well, thank you guys for joining us on Trappin' Ain't Dead.
We thank you.
This was a great conversation. I learned about Aventura and Hollandale, and I always love talking to you, Emmanuel, because you always drop some gems. And great talking to you. You taught me about Ojus and Aventura, Jawan. How can people find you on social media or on the web? Like, you know, drop your information so people can stay connected with you.
My stuff is you can find me on IG at driven_JUAN Juan, and if you're an actor, definitely send me a DM, video, whatever you got to do, get in contact with me, because I got some stuff that I do want to shoot. So definitely looking for actors. Going to be probably holding a casting call pretty soon, and then obviously if you want to start a business, you have a business idea, even if you think it ain't going to jump, you know, right immediately, let's at least, you know, sit down and try to come up with something for you, a plan. So definitely DM me as well on IG if you want to go that route.
Awesome.
And for me, it's Instagram at Black Broward, Facebook, my whole name, Emmanuel George, E with 2 M's. And, you know, I ain't hard to find. And that's like where you can find me. DM me. Let's collaborate. Let's think some ideas, and let's make some things happen, especially if you're in Broward, too. But, I mean, if you're in Dade, we still can work and we still can create. You know, it's all love. You know, we all one family.
Yeah, so flow.
I love it. Thank you, guys.
Much love.
Much. This was a great show.
I know, right?
Learned a lot, debated, and all type of shit.
Chilled out. I wasn't tripping about the time and shit. I ain't even give a fuck, to be honest with you. I just wanted to, you know, vibe out. I think that's what 30 comes with. You know, you just want to vibe. Like vibe, man. I ain't got time for the fuck shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's you got, like, I guess in your 20s you feel like, damn, I ain't got enough time. And then you realize, like, cause I know for like me and the cats around me, you know, like you that's like, oh shit, that's an oh shit moment. Like 25 is an oh shit moment, you know, and then 30 is like another moment. Like, damn, okay, I had 5 years extended on the contract. All right, I'm gonna live for real. Like it's like it's like, all right, I could do the Master P numbers now. Okay, if you know, people who don't know, you know, Master P always say he want to live till he's 60, and of course he get, you know, like to 65. He's always talk about living longer than the normal motherfucker. So it's something I always picked up with. So with that, Janae,
what's up?
Leave them the handles.
Okay, I'm gonna go first this time. You gonna let me go first?
See. This is why I brought. I'm put this in the camera. I brought my my MPX8 from Makai Professional.
What is that?
It's a sampler and sound effects board. So yeah, we gonna put. So
it's gonna go. Bow, bow, bow.
Yeah, all that, and I'm gonna record. I'm gonna do a voiceover to, you know, my infamous Shade. You know, like it's a play on raid, but we say shade, and it's always at this moment that I'm gonna be like shade. Every time she do it, I'm like shade.
Every time I come in, he got some new gadget or
hey,
toy.
Man,
you are definitely into this.
I grew up watching Dexter's Laboratory.
You're definitely Black Dexter.
And Master P said always reinvest in yourself, so I'm always looking at something to like buy to like improve the show and move it forward. So I got video equipment, audio equipment, and then like, you know, of course we got the business. So, you know, but Janae.
Well, as always, I'm promoting the blog and the company, so you guys can follow me at Hilo News, HYLONEWS. That's on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and of course, Hilo News Miami is the website, and my personal page is Janae Tate, but no, just go to the blog. Oh, and big shout out to Jodane Craigman. I can't remember his name, his company, but he redid my logo, so I'm excited about that to kind of like.
So you got a
new relaunch. I'm gonna show it to you after the show. But yeah, so we were trying to do some stuff, and we're doing video too. So shout out to my producer up in Connecticut who helped me shoot some videos, and Emmanuel and Juwan was a part of that. Yeah, Tontis, thank you, baby. All right.
Yeet, trapping it dead. I'm talking about trap, baby. You feel me?
That was a big step. I may want you to edit that out. But anyways, how can the people find you?
Of course, you know, Trapping Ain't Dead podcast. Machiavelli _Munch. Just put MAKAVE, MAKA, and they'll pop up. I promise. I swear, because I'm like the only Machiavelli on that shit. And then All Like Minds or All Like Minds Media. All Like Minds is more like the you know, community stuff. All Like Minds Media is like more production. So, and what we doing production wise. But yeah, the podcast, Trapping Ain't Dead. Damn it.
You Trap Bay. Oh, speaking of Trap Bays, are you single, Emmanuel? Because, like, your eyes are, like, so dreamy and brown. Like, I'm, like, just looking at them right now. I'm like, I don't know if the girls, you know, I just want the girls to know that if you are single, he has, like, some very beautiful eyes, y'all. So,
hey, I'm on the spot.
She was posted.
But, I mean, yeah, I got...
beautiful, dreamy eyes. They're so brown. Like, nice hazel, like, nice... They're beautiful.
Yeah, they got a special, you know,
them
someone
eyes, them the type of eyes that get you, you know, mess up your credit.
Yeah, you know,
them type of eyes make you cook breakfast.
No, they got a special, you know what I'm saying, someone out there, you know, that, you know, so.
Well, I'm sorry. Well, she's a very lucky woman.
Oh, thank you. So, yeah, we just doing our thing, man.
And good night on that note.
Yeet.